Yes, people, welcome into the channel. Welcome into Juno Talks Ball. I hope everybody's doing well. It is Monday evening. It's the beginning of the week, and I just hope everybody has a good week. Anyway, as the weekend has passed, we heard that Qatar pulled out Sir Jim. He's basically almost in the door. Basically, Thursday, it will be announced whether his bid is accepted or not, which is crazy because the way we're moving is like his bid's accepted. In my personal opinion, guys, I do think that the Glazers are now in a corner where they don't have funds, and they put out three bids previously over this past year or so, or three invitations, and obviously we know that there was other consortiums that was trying to invest in the club. However, they had pulled out, and it was a two-horse race between Qatar and Sir John Radcliffe. And we heard over the weekend that Qatar has pulled out. So the way it's going, they only have Sir Jim. They only have Sir Jim. And I wonder if that gives him power. I know how the Glazers move. We all know how they move. We that's They move the way they move, and that's the reason we don't want them here. But at the moment, Sir Jim, he's the only guy that can assist him financially at the moment, unless they go through this process again, which I highly doubt at this point in time they're going to do. So I think that Sir Jim is very confident, and the way he's moving, you would think so too. So he's already put in plans, or he's already planning the stadium upgrade, because that is one of the big reasons. Sorry, guys. That's one of the big reasons the Glazers is looking for external investment, whether it be whether it was new ownership, which the two front runners basically wanted, or investment. Um, so basically, he's going to work. Obviously, the roof was an issue. I think it was one of the Premier League games where there was a video going around on TikTok. Oh, I don't know if it was on TikTok, but I saw it on Twitter. Where the roof was leaking, and ever since then, obviously the fans have ramped it up. So obviously the stadium needs new development. The stadium is rotting. The stadium, the stadium hasn't been touched. The Glazers have neglected the stadium. So Sir Jam's gonna come in, and he's already working on these plans. This just tells me that he's confident. This tells me he's extremely confident. So he's working on basically to revamp the stadium and to increase its capacity from 75,811 to 90,000, which will make it the biggest. Well, I'm not sure what Wembley's capacity is, but the biggest club stadium in England. Um, and Manchester United is the biggest club in England. It's not a debate. I think Liverpool is close second. However, Manchester United is the biggest in England. So it makes sense that we have the biggest stadium, but we also need a state of the art stadium. So hopefully Sir John does more than just a revamp. Hopefully he really brings it home with the stadium. And I think if he does, obviously many Manchester United supporters are not happy at the moment with Sir John coming in. And obviously me myself, I would have rather taken Qatar. However, Sir John is here, and we're not going to cry over spilt milk. So I really hope he does a great job on the stadium. And then he's already looking into a new sporting director. If you haven't watched my previous video, um, he obviously, I'm sure many of you have heard, he wants sporting control of the club. Now, for me personally, I would actually prefer him get that, because we've had 10 years of the Glazers. We've had more. We've had 20 years, but since Alex retired, since David Gill has retired, it's been 10 years. And Ed Woodward was there for most of the time. I mean, the fact that the Glazers never got rid of him, speaks volumes. Obviously, Richard Arnold and John Murter came through, and they've been slightly better. I know many people might disagree with me. They've been slightly better than Ed Woodward was. However, they are just not good enough. Especially John Murta, he's just not good enough for Manchester United. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe is basically gonna, he plans to revamp the whole entire sporting department above Erik ten Hag, and hopefully Erik ten Hag will flourish under the new system. So five guys. Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell's the front runner. Back in Ed Woodward's time, we were actually looking into Paul Mitchell, and he's from the Greater Manchester. Um, and he just recently left Monaco. He obviously also he worked with Poch both at Southampton and at Southampton and at Spurs, and he brought in people like Virgil van Dijk. He had a part to play in Song. He had a part to play in Mane. So he has a good record in England. He has an absolutely brilliant record in England, and we need somebody to come in with an eye for talent, man. We cannot be wasting money the way we do. We just cannot do it. I mean, obviously it's a gamble, but we've been bringing in these stars for the last 10 years, and they come to Old Trafford and they flop, honestly. So, trying new ways, obviously, we can still touch on our old ways, but we need to bring in the unknowns, like Ralph was speaking about, players that's in their first and second contracts. We need to, and especially with a manager like Erik ten Hag and his history and his experience, I think he will benefit from those sort of players. Then we are looking at Dan Ashley. We're not looking at Dan Ashley. He's on the list. Now, Dan Ashley is currently at Newcastle. So I actually think you need to tick him off the list because I don't think Manchester United is going to go to Newcastle and pay Dan out of his contract. So just just forget about Dan. Then we have Michael Edwards and Julian Edwards, who both worked for Liverpool under Klopp first. Michael worked there, and then Julian worked there for Liverpool and the club. So Michael was basically the beginning of Klopp's resurgence, and the baton was taken over by Julian. So they have connections to Liverpool. So I don't know whether we're gonna get them. I don't know if they are Liverpool supporters. Obviously, when it comes to your job, sometimes the club you support, or yeah, the club you support, or the country you support, etc. Sometimes that needs to go out the window for your career. So you never know. We could go into them, and obviously they have a good track record. I mean, Klopp has won a Champions League and a Premier League, and you, as much as the manager has a big part to play in that, the people around him has a part to play in that. And Manchester United is the perfect example of a manager without support. And then the last one is Jean-Claude Blanc. He was at Juventus for 6 years from, sorry guys, man, 2005 to 2011, and basically since then till last year, he's been at PSG. However, he is not really a sporting director. He's more of a CEO. So maybe he's on the list, but we may be looking to replace Richard Arnold, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Whatever. As the thing is, if Manchester United starts to pick up success on the pitch, that's the first thing the fan base is asking for. Yes, Old Trafford needs to be revamped. Yes, Carrington needs to be revamped. Yes, the structures and everything needs to be better. Yes, Glazers need to stop taking dividends out. However, if we're successful on the pitch, um, I'm not saying it's better. Obviously, everything needs to improve, but it will be a easier pill to swallow, and that is one of the big problems over the past 10 years. Is that it's been chaos off the pitch and it's been chaos on the pitch, and it's just been a tough ride for Manchester United fans. So further to this, obviously Sir Jim has a Swiss team and he also owns Nice in France. So I just did a bit of digging into what kind of a manager or what kind of an owner he is. So he doesn't really speak to fans. However, he is present at most, or not all the games. He has a lot going on. He has obviously his company. He has the cycling team. He has Nice. He has the Swiss team. He now has Manchester United. And he also owns Mercedes or he owns a third of Mercedes in Formula One. So he has a lot on his plate. But he comes to he comes to games, so he has more of a presence than we've had from the Glazers. I mean, Glazers come there like once a season. They really don't care about the club. However, he doesn't like speak as much, so he's there, but you know that communication. So hopefully he can work on that. And then just with regards to Nice, he basically purchased them back in July 2019 for 100 million euros. Um, and he basically promised to make them a Champions League club in the next 4 to 5 seasons. And since then, it's been a rocky ride. I mean, they finished like 11th, they finished 7th, but they've improved. And this season, they are second on the log. They are ahead of PSG, and they are second on the log. So he made the promise, and it looks like his promise is coming to light. So hopefully he can make promises to us at Manchester United, and he can see it through. Even though he only owns 25%, I really hope he gets what he wants, because he wants to be in charge of the football. He's not even interested in the business side. He just wants to be in charge of the football side, which basically he knows he needs to win over the fans. And if he is a Manchester United supporter, lifelong Manchester United supporter, as he says he is, I don't discredit the way he's going about it anyway. But obviously, there's this meeting on Thursday. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I think that he has some power, even though he's dealing with the Glazers. I do think he has some power because he's almost like the last hope. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about Jim Radcliffe down in the comments. Obviously, um, let's try and be positive, guys. Let's try and be positive, and let me know about what you think about what he's doing. Um, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I really want to grow this channel, and I'm working seriously hard to build a community. And hopefully in future we can have watch alongs, and everything will be um, a live stream, so we can communicate better. But until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.